My top, Tampa Bay, let's roll, it's game day, Rays on the diamond, bolts in the sky, Bucks on the goal line, Bulls ride or die, from the tailgate talk to the bright field glow, you know where to go. It's the JP Peterson Show. Hey,
a hearty howdy. Good morning here on this Thursday for the JP Peterson Show. Man, this is kind of a weird day. We got no Rays All-Star game to talk about. We got no games to talk about except that silly footy stuff that they do. But I'm here for it. Absolutely. Good morning to you, IndyCar Tim. How are you, my friend?
Doing well in a thunderstormy 87 degree and 87% humidity Thursday morning here in the DFW.
Yeah, it was coming down this morning as well. Little Tally doesn't like the rain. She does she loves to swim, but she does not like the rain. It's kind of an interesting thing. So we had to do our ball throwing in the parking lot in the like the O2 Buccaneers used to do when it rained at the old place. This is a true story, Timmy. There was a parking garage adjacent to the old trailer park that was One Buck Place.
Right.
And Gruden would get so pissed when rain would come that he would take the team to this adjacent, like 6th level parking lot, and they would practice in the parking lot, in the covered parking lot.
I mean, why not?
Right? Why not? So that's what we do in the morning when it gets that stormy. God, I can't believe an NFL team. They used to do that.
Well, consider their facilities at the time too, though. You probably never would have believed that either.
No. Well, imagine me coming from Tallahassee and lowly, a college town, Florida State University, and also having worked 2 years in North Carolina, touring the ACC in the fine facilities that were, Cameron Indoor Stadium and the Dean Dome, and even the football facilities were like nice. Coming to the NFL, to One Buck Place, and going, what is this?
What is this trailer park?
What is this trailer park next to runway 54, where the wafting of jet fuel encompasses as planes take off, and the weight room is outdoors, literally an outdoor weight room. I'm like, wait, I just
when the Cowboys had one of those.
Yes, and they freaking won a world championship in that dump.
Yep,
man, that is interesting. So anyway, good morning to all you guys. And we got a great show for you today, as usual. The great Dave Mishkin is going to join us at 10:30, play-by-play man for your Tampa Bay Lightning. As listen, Lightning season's not far away either. They start camp in September, not too far away, which should be a very highly anticipated season with the changes of the offseason. So we'll chat to Mish about that at 10:30. Always fun to catch up with him. And I think we have a clip that we're going to play today that is going to, I hate to say it, upstage the great Dave Mishkin, who I've never worked with or worked with a team that had a play-by-play guy that was as passionate as my man Dave Mishkin.
And non-biased.
But my man from Argentina may have eclipsed him.
Good Lord.
May have eclipsed him.
So over the top.
I sent him the video. I said, Mish, you're going to have to pick up your game.
Yeah.
You're clearly not passionate enough as this guy. Squarely tongue-in-cheek, folks. So Mish is going to join us at 10:30. At 11:30, Kam Babb, former Ohio State national champion receiver.
Not Ken Babby.
Not Ken Babby, but Kam Babb will join us, Cameron. And I met him a couple months ago at the Cal Ripken event. And he is Emeka Egbuka's roommate. Of course, everybody knows Emeka Egbuka, and from Ohio State. And he has started a really incredible nonprofit. And it is, I'm really interested to learn more about it. I want you guys to learn more about it. It's called Man Up and Go. And we'll talk some football with him. Obviously, Ohio State, the way they have really, in the past years, just, I think, I don't want to say dominated college football, but I think it's clear to say that now that Alabama's fallen off a little bit, even Georgia, that Ohio State has just been the most consistent team at the upper echelon of college football. I think we could say that. And the recruiting and what's going on in Ohio State is really, really special. So we'll talk a little bit about that and his great nonprofit that they're doing great works here in our community. So we will have that for you and anything you guys want to bring to the table as well. Big O will join us. He may join us at the end of the show. We'll see, but we got a Big O show today coming up after this where we're going to look at the second half of the season and tell some fun stories. So that's your show for today. Whatever you guys want to do and jump in here and comment about, please do so. You can do that on YouTube. You can do that on X, and you can also do that on Facebook. So away we go. Also, we got the ACC kickoff going on. Mike Norvell spoke to the media yesterday. I'll comment on that. It's a little bizarre. So anyway, welcome in. And welcome into my man, Scotty Fitz, who's listening to the show in the golf cart, cruising the beaches of Anna Maria, and will be out on the water later tomorrow. So good to have you guys down there in the most beautiful beach in the world, Anna Maria Island. I love that place. Absolutely love that place. All right, so let's I got to jump in with the World Cup. And Timmy, I don't know if you watched the game yesterday between England and Argentina. We watched it all here at the lovely Kingmakers. Had a great little crew, group that we had here. Mike Murphy, who owns this joint, and Murphy Auto Group was here. He's a big soccer fan. And that was a very, very interesting game as England came out and I thought was the aggressor, really owned the first half of the game, got the first goal and took a 1-0 lead and then decided to shut it down for the last 30 minutes offensively and just let Argentina and the greatest player in the game, Lionel Messi, just take shots at you, one right after another, thinking that in some way for 30 minutes, even though they've proven otherwise in every match during this World Cup, that they have, if you let them, they're going to have the ability to just keep coming at you and score whatever they need to score to win the game. I mean, again, I'm no soccer expert, and Timmy, I don't think you are either.
Not quite.
But as soon as they started to go into full prevent defense mode, which we've seen very much in the NFL, and we all know what that means. Mm-hmm. All it does is prevent you from winning. And that's what happened on the pitch. This is something I think American football fans can really identify with. They really can, right? This is a Todd Bowles special right here. We got a 2-score lead. Or, if the soccer 1-0 lead's like a 2-score lead, we're just going to shut it down. We're just going to shut it down and let our great defense handle this. And I'm like, we're all just like, what are they doing? What are you doing? This is not, you're not playing Australia. You're not playing the U.S. You're playing freaking Lionel Messi, the defending champs, Argentina, who have been doing nothing in this World Cup except coming back late and beating people. What are you doing? And sure as shit, 2 goals late, stoppage time, and the last one just absolutely quintessential Messi, where he gets the ball in the wing and crosses one, literally that hit the hair. 2 defenders with this goal scorer in the middle that hit the hair of the first guy and over his head, breezed his head right onto the head of the goal scorer. I forget his name, Martinez, I think it was. And then and the other defender on the other side. I mean, you're like, what the F did I just see? He had 2 assists in the game, and they had him. Normally he's in front of the goal, but they had him out kind of on the right wing a little bit, and just absolutely gorgeous. And for the guy heading the ball, all he had to do was just, it's just put right on his forehead, it's over. And England was done. They were done. And they couldn't really mount anything after that. And Argentina moves on to face Spain in the World Cup final on Sunday.
Yeah, and
New Jersey.
It was so bad. England's effort was so bad in my non-soccer brain opinion that even I noticed the difference in their approach.
Yeah.
Like normally I can watch and say, okay, this is just boring soccer. This is just what soccer is at this point of the game, but. Right. Even I noticed a difference in what they were doing. Like it was just, it's like you said, Todd Bowles special. I wish I'd have thought of that. I'd have tweeted it out.
Yeah.
The game,
I just thought of that myself, but I was like, I think I've seen this before.
Yeah.
No, I think I've seen this before.
That was crazy though. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah. And some of the cutaway shots were fantastic. Did you see the one of Mick Jagger?
Yes. God, he was pissed.
I'm thinking about it. Mick Jagger's been on the scene since the 60s, since the last time they won the World Cup, 1966.
He probably remembers that.
Right. He was there, right? 1966. And, I don't think I've ever seen Mick Jagger not just strutting around the stage doing what he does. Like, you just don't see Mick Jagger. There's not a lot of Mick Jagger pictures in my Instagram feed, right? It's just, and I certainly never seen him look like that.
No.
He was just like shaking his head like, what the F did we just do?
Defeated, man.
Yeah. Every major, and you got to understand, I was listening to Alexi Lawless this morning on Barstool, and he really put it in perspective because the English are, just in general, about everything, they're insufferable. They're just an insufferable group of people. They are the most arrogant lot you will ever meet in your life. And I hate to, broad brush it, but my good friend Paul Stewart, exclusion, great guy. Yeah. Great guy. But just as a group, they can be, and especially the English football fans, can be rather insufferable. And as can Alexi Lawless, to be quite honest, we can just throw him in with that group as well. But and he said, can you imagine had England won on our soil? Like, no, I can't. No, that's not something that's not a world I want to live in. With those people, I just don't want to live in that. So we were saved from that. Which is nice. But to watch, all the cutaway shots and all the celebrities and the David Beckhams and everybody, it's just they go from this jubilation of, oh my God, we're going to beat Argentina. We're going to beat Argentina. And the whole backstory of the Falklands War.
Oh, yeah.
These are two countries that literally hate each other.
All political, too.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of stuff. And when they've been on the pitch, it's always been nasty and fights and all that stuff. And it was that yesterday. It was every bit of that. It was just a nasty, drawn out. Yeah, that's what it was. Mm-hmm. But England had the lead. And you have to understand, in the world of soccer, this was going to be a huge upset. And you could almost see them like, oh, we're going to win, until they win it. They weren't going to win. And it was really good theater. It was incredible theater to watch and to watch Messi. And there was this feeling, at least for me, of inevitability. And it was like, you guys, what are you doing? And the English manager, what is his name? Tucker, what, I don't know what his name is. The tall guy that looks like he smokes about 3 packs a day, if not more. He's just getting absolutely roasted for those tactics, as he should. So it's and these are things and conversations that happen around the world, and it's dominating everything around the world in terms of conversation. And just a slice here, we're not going to spend a lot of time of it on this show, but I just thought something that it's a big deal. And I think a lot of people in this country have been absolutely captivated by the World Cup. And does it explode in interest in soccer? I was having this conversation yesterday with some pretty big money folks that have bought into soccer, and not just soccer at the MLS level, but at the USL level, which is hubbed here in Tampa. Yeah. And they really feel like there's going to be an awakening in soccer. I don't know about that. I think I don't know. I think the sports landscape is way too crowded for that in the United States right now. I think niche sports are definitely picking up. I mean, you've got, women's professional softball leagues that are, right. and a lot of these leagues that are getting, decent ratings and crowds and things like that. And my thought on it, USL and also MLS, I mean, MLS is our top level of soccer here. Hell, Messi plays in the MLS. I don't think even his presence has had the anticipated boom associated with it. Would you agree with that? I mean, when he came here, it was like, oh God, this is going to overtake hockey and everything. Hadn't happened.
No, and here's what I think the problem is, and you touched on it when you said this overcrowded landscape that we have in sports right now. I think for a casual sports fan, okay, that's already not involved in soccer, you have to have the desire. You have to have room in your life for a new sport. You have to want to go like soccer. Like, you have to make a conscious effort. I'm going to start watching soccer, right? And I'm going to be into soccer now. But then the sport has to maintain that interest level, right?
Yes.
Because if you're like, man, I'm going to try to start watching soccer, and then you watch 4 or 5 games, or you watch it for a season or whatever, because I've heard of people giving it a year. I'm going to adopt a team that's my favorite team, and I'm going to follow that team for a year. But if the level of excitement doesn't keep you interested, that's going to fade. So for the people that these niche sports that we're talking about, those sports that come in and become popular, it's not because someone made a conscious effort to, I'm going to go watch this and like it. It's because the level of entertainment of that sport just grabs you, and you have no choice but to start watching it. Like when MMA became popular, like in the late 80s, right? When the UFC became a thing in the late 80s, there was just a contingent of people that were like, this is the most exciting thing I've ever seen. They might have been boxing fans before and became bored with that, other than Tyson. We really had nothing. So MMA, takes your attention and it just grabs you. Soccer, I don't think soccer as a sport has that ability to do. And I don't care how great a player is, Messi or Ronaldo or whoever these big names are. That's one dude on one team that plays however, once a week or whatever. I don't know if they play soccer games, but the sport itself cannot just grab your attention and say, you have to watch me.
Yeah.
Like other niche sports will do, right? But we're already embedded in football, hockey, baseball, and basketball. So those are grandfathered into this whole grand landscape, but these other sports, and I'll throw motor racing in there, NASCAR or IndyCar, those are niche sports. And I get it, dude. I'm the biggest IndyCar fan there is. I follow it religiously every day. I watch something about IndyCar. But I get that people are like, dude, there's just a bunch of cars driving around the track.
Right,
exactly. Like, I get it. It's just, but I have a vested interest in it because I've been watching it since the early 80s,
And but here's the thing, Timmy, the inner workings of how IndyCar, NASCAR works. And I've told this story on the show before. When I went to North Carolina and I had to start covering NASCAR, my thoughts of that was left turns. That's all it is. Like, this is the most boring thing in the world. And then I started learning about, fuel mileage strategy. Then I started learning about, aerodynamics and downforce and tires and all these things, and how it definitely correlates with football strategy with, running zone reads, 4 wides. And it's like, and it clicked with me, and I was like, oh, and now it was suddenly so much more interesting. And when I watched it and I covered it, I was like, wow, that was a great call. This is what they're doing. And then you have the talent of the drivers to feel the cars and be able to communicate to their crew chief. It's pulling here. It's doing this. I can't get through the corner. I have to make it adjust. And when it clicks, you go, wow, this is so cool. It's a marriage of talent and machine and all of it. And it's really cool. And I think for soccer, I've had a little bit of that awakening during this World Cup. I'm starting to understand the geometry of the game. I'm starting to understand the incredible talent of some of these players and what they're able to do, and really appreciate it and appreciate the tactics. So I'm kind of, and it's kind of clicked for me. So, and I've watched a lot of it. I've been really interested in it. But still, even saying that, there are times in these games when a team gets a lead, I'm just going to watch, Spain pass the ball around from the half line. It just gets absolutely boring. And I get it. You're playing keep away. Yeah, that's a hard sport to sell, to play keep away for 45 minutes. And then there's the flopping. And who was it that said this to me yesterday? I forget, but they said, do you notice that in soccer, the women don't flop? The women don't flop. And in basketball as well. The women's sports, they don't do what the men do. The flopping and the crying and all that. I'm like, you know what? That's right. When we watch the U.S. women's national team, they don't do that shit. Take a page, guys. Take a page. It'll help your sport here in America. But anyway, yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think people have the patience to learn about the inner workings of soccer to get to that point where it really comes alive for you. I just don't think Americans have the patience for it. And here's the other thing. No disrespect to the MLS and Messi, but you talk about levels of the game. The MLS is so far from the upper level of Premier League and European soccer, South American soccer, that I think fans know that. It's like watching an inferior product. Americans don't like watching, en masse AAA baseball. They'll go to the games, and enjoy minor league baseball, but it ain't doing a 12 rating on a Sunday night. It's not happening.
I don't know that I've ever understood that mentality that, I can't watch AAA ball, AA baseball because it's not the best of the best.
Yeah.
No, but you know what?
On a massive level. Massive level.
Right. But I'm like, and I the same thing with the UFL and the NFL.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're a fan of football, the UFL is real football.
I can't watch UFL with all due respect to my
friend
Anthony Beck. It's just I can't.
If you like football, it's entertaining to me. Like, I love football. I will watch the UFL.
I'm exactly the opposite. I turn it on and I'm like, man, these guys are slow. It just doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same.
But
it
you
doesn't
watch
look
college
the same.
football. That's not the same level as the pros.
That's true. That's 100% true. But there's a mystique and tradition to that. But that's waning too, because you're screwing that up. Yeah. That's why one of my big beefs about what they're doing to college football right now is because so much of it is dependent on your emotional attachment to your team.
Yeah.
It's because
there's no UFL team in Tampa, so I get it.
Right. Now, if there were, we did have one for a minute, the Vipers, and I was kind of interested in that. But those sports are wholly dependent on locality. Now, if you're talking about, you have a USL team in Savannah, or Tuscaloosa or Mobile, where there's no pro sports. I think you got a really good shot to get decent crowds, but it's never going to be a huge sport. Somebody commented here just recently about the USL and the relegation. There's this, here it is. Buck in 0220 said, I truly think USL will overtake MLS here. The pro REL relegation, I believe that is, will be a game changer. That's interesting to me. But I'm still not sure that's going to, break through the way people think it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Dave Mishkin is in the bullpen and ready to go. And we'll play a clip from soccer yesterday, and we will challenge Mr. Mishkin to pick up his level a little bit, because clearly he is not doing what the level of some of these soccer guys are.
With all apologies to Dave, I'm apologizing ahead of time. I don't know what's about to happen.
Oh, we're just going to have a little fun here. We're brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. Just had the valet service yesterday. They came over, picked up my car, took it in for service, brought it back, never had to leave the office. That's pretty cool. That is really, really cool. Your car comes back spanking, all clean, everything's done. It's great. That's what they do at Genesis of Tampa. And by the way, they sell the best cars in the world for value. Absolutely off the chain. I got the GV70 and it's wonderful. Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue, just off of 275. Back at 3 with the great Dave Mishkin. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source. Gold and silver has never been higher. Bring in that old gold jewelry to the Golden Diamond Source, and they will give you lots of cash money for it. Then you can buy something nice and new for your sweetie. They'll give you a discount on that, or buy something for yourself. You can do that too, boys. GoldenDiamondSource.com, 3800 Almerton Road over there in Clearwater. All right, let's talk some hockey. In the middle of summer, we love doing it, but whenever we can get Dave Mishkin on, we love doing it. What's up, Mish? How are you, my friend? It's great to see you. How's things?
Things are great, JP. Good to be with you as well. I know you sent me a clip of the Argentinian announcer. Paul Kennedy also sent me a clip of that. So two of you at least thought of me when the guy went bananas.
You know, he and I do share a very warped sense of humor. Yes. I hope you can appreciate. Yeah, we'll have a little fun with that later on. But it's great to see you, my friend. And you know, this is a time when Lightning fans are just kind of waiting to see what's going to go on in the offseason, and it has been rather eventful. No question about that. With John Carlson coming in, and we're saying goodbye to some old friends and Nick Paul and Corey Perry. But definitely some changes that needed to be made. I would say, or had to be made, when the salary cap era. Just your overall thoughts, and obviously losing Darren Radish was a tough break. But we love to see that he's going to have great success in Toronto and that he got paid and all that good stuff. But what are your thoughts as you look at this roster right now?
So there were changes made, JP, but this was not the summer of 2024 where the Lightning made, I would call, significant changes.
Yeah.
They made the choice with Stamkos. I mean, they offered Stamkos a contract. He just wasn't interested in signing what they were offering and got more in Nashville. So Stamkos left. They traded Sergachev. They signed Gensel. I mean, these are huge. That
was earthquake summer.
Groundbreaking shifts. And they reacquired McDonough. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
The last two off seasons have been different. They've been changes. They haven't been quiet. I mean, there have been changes made, but they've kind of been on the edges, I would say. So in a perfect world, I think they would have brought Darren Radish back.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in the cards. Whether it was Darren himself decided, I want to maximize this next contract and also go home. His mom is a recent widow. I mean, that's a well-documented story.
Yeah.
And there were other factors there beyond just the dollars and the term that Toronto offered. I think the location mattered. But what Toronto offered, the Lightning really weren't in a position to offer. They didn't feel that they wanted to lock him up for 8 years at that dollar amount. So that's the way it goes. I mean, it's not like they said at the end of last season, JP, what you hear when they're ready to move on from a player, which is like, we'd like to thank Darren Radish for, that's the sort of verbiage that you hear. We didn't hear that. I think they wanted to bring him back. It didn't happen. Yeah. So once that became clear, there's no guarantee that they were going to be able to get John Carlson. And if they hadn't been able to get a John Carlson, then, maybe you're looking at putting more on a guy like Destu's plate, who has power play skill, certainly. I mean, he's been a goal scorer throughout his pro career. Victor presumably is going to be coming back with his mind in the right place, healthy. Maybe he goes back to that role. But I think they like the righty at the point, and it set up the one-timer from Kucherov.
Yeah.
So when I say around the edges, the hole was not a small one that Radish vacated based on what we saw last year. So they were able to get somebody to really fill that role. Carlson is older than Radish, certainly, but they only gave him a 2-year deal. The money was more, but the money was less than what was reported that he was looking for. So he may have said, maybe I'm looking for this amount, but I'm going to take a little bit less to play on this power play and get passes from Kucherov. So this is a really good addition. John Carlson will not hurt their power play. No. John Carlson is a great defenseman, and he had a good year last year. He's 36 years old. He's the same age as McDonough. So he's not 26, he's not 22, but he can play. And I think that he's going to help the Lightning. He's going to help their power play. The other two additions that they made via free agency, one is Ilya Mikheyev, who I haven't really seen a lot since he was in Toronto, which was 4 years ago now. But, on an offensively challenged Chicago team, especially last year, he scored 18 goals. They also, Chicago, people might be like, oh, Chicago wasn't very good. Chicago defended well. Chicago had a great penalty kill. Mikheyev was a part of that.
Yeah.
So the two moves were separate, Mikheyev coming in and Nick Paul getting traded. But in a way, you can kind of say, all right, we see a middle six guy here. What's the difference? First of all, Nick Paul's a center, Mikheyev's a winger. But Paul is a big, strong power forward. Mm-hmm. Mikheyev isn't that, but Mikheyev has wheels. Yeah, Mikheyev can fly. Yeah. And I mean, Nick Paul... Skating was not Nick Paul's strong suit. He could skate, but his strong suit was being strong, and having a great shot.
Totally different player.
Winning faceoffs. Yeah. So different, but you're getting you're saying goodbye to a forward. You're bringing a forward who may kind of sort of fill some of the role that Paul filled prior to last year when his role got reduced. Then Jeffrey Viel is an interesting signing because they gave him 5 years for a guy who had been a journeyman before last year. And even last year, before he got traded to Anaheim, he only played 10 games in the NHL with Boston. But he played very well with Anaheim down the stretch in the regular season, played exceptionally well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And his calling card is he is a pugilist.
Yes.
So you look at his penalty minutes in his career, he fights. He seems to like to fight. I don't know if I'd qualify him as a heavyweight. I've never actually seen him fight because he's been in the minors most of his career. But he's willing, and that is a role that he fills. But he also played regularly for Anaheim and impressed clearly the Lightning. They feel he's trending upward. He's 29, so they brought back Sabourin. But let's be honest, Sabourin could fight, but Sabourin was in and out of the lineup. I think that they feel VL is maybe more slotted to be a regular who can bring that toughness and stand up for his teammates and all of that. So those are the free agents that they brought in. Then they made the trade for Hildeby, which that sent Paul to Toronto. I think they were very intrigued by Hildeby. He's 24. He's 6'7". I mean, we've had some experience in Lightning land with big goalies like Ben Bishop. And he shut out the Lightning last year when playing for Toronto. He had a good year last year for a team that missed the playoffs. And I think he became available basically because Toronto has another minor league goalie who was part of their Calder Cup championship team who's kind of going to move into the third spot. So they had a chance to add Nick Paul to help their NHL roster, and the Lightning had a chance to add a goalie who's young, who they feel has a lot of upside potential and who impressed them last year. And it also sounded like, hearing Julian talk, that Nick Paul's role, which had been reduced last year, wasn't going to change that much. And they have other centers growing into bigger roles, whether it's Dominic James or Sam O'Reilly. If he makes the team, at least he's in the pipeline, right? Yeah. So I think that they felt that it was a move that they were okay making. But had Hildeby not been available, I'm not sure that Paul would have been moved. I think it was in part because they wanted to get this guy to be Vasilevsky's backup, basing that on what I heard from Julian.
So with Karlsson, this is interesting because I kind of get a sense that we're thinking, well, was it all Darren Radish, or maybe it was a lot of Kucherov and a right-handed shot, which we really hadn't experimented with because Hedman was running the point with that power play that has been good for a long time, but has struggled maybe the last few years in spots, certainly in the playoffs. Does Karlsson? Do you think that is it Karlsson? Is it Destu? Is Hedman not going to be that guy for the power play? Because I think this power play does need to improve, and taking away Radish does it improve? And I mean, Radish, that whole thing was it's a money thing. All those things that you said right on. They would have loved to keep him, but can Karlsson fill that void, or was that just Radish's bomb shot that made that so good? Is it Radish, or is it Radish?
Yeah. So let me just start out by saying this: Radish has a bomb. Yeah. But Karlsson can shoot the puck too. Yeah. We're not going from like fifth gear to second gear here. Right. I mean, he can drill it as well. So I think a couple of things are at play. 2 years ago in the playoffs, the power play really hurt them. Yeah. The power play didn't hurt them as much in the series against Montreal. Like, they did score some power play goals in that series. And even Kucherov said, like, after the season ended, he was like, the power play was better in the playoffs. Yeah. Their power play percentage last year was middle of the pack, which is a drop-off. But I think a lot of that came in the first half of the year.
True.
When Radish got established, let's not forget, he was scratched for half of the first 13 games, and then, it was a new role for him. By the time we kind of got into late December, early January, he was settled in. He was bombing away. The power play was strong in the second half of the year. I mean, it didn't get to top 5 and not even to top 10, but it was a lot better than it had been in the first half. And part of that was, like you're saying, is it Kucherov, is it Radish? It's both, right? So the difference is, when you have a lefty, when you have one defenseman, and that defenseman is a lefty, and that's basically the way the Lightning have run this power play for years. Yep. Either it was Hedman, or the 1 year really Sergachev was there. But Sergachev is a lefty too. Destu is a lefty. It's hard for Kucherov to pass to a lefty at the point for a one-timer. Right. It's near impossible.
Right.
The lefty, though, can sell a shot and pass it back to Kucherov for a one-timer. Mm-hmm. So with Radish, that part kind of went away. We weren't seeing as many one-timers from Kucherov.
That's a great
point.
And,
Phil's always like, Kuch needs to shoot the puck more. Kucherov will shoot the puck more on a one-timer. Yeah. When the puck is coming to him, we see sometimes Hagel do that seam pass. Kucherov will shoot. Kucherov's just holding onto the puck. He does not shoot as much. He prefers the one-timer. He would not be getting the puck back from Radish as much for a one-timer because Radish is a righty. He has to open his body. He can't really sell the pass.
Right.
What did become available, though, was Kucherov passing to Radish for a one-timer. And I think it created some different options on the power play last year, and they are going to have that still with Karlsson. Yeah. So to me, there's not much of a difference between Karlsson and Radish. They are not the same player, but they are not that dissimilar. They're both righties. They both have bombs. They both have good offensive instincts. I mentioned this on our show that I do with Greg Linnelli. We had one earlier in the week. What I love about Karlsson and what I love about Radish too, the puck is very calm on their stick. Mm-hmm. Like, you hear about the puck exploded off this guy's stick or happy hands or something. Like, you'd like your players to have the opposite of that, right? Yes. It's almost like a wide receiver who's like juggling the ball and it comes. Yeah. Like, Radish could snap a puck down that's coming at him fast and just control it. Karlsson is that way too. So Karlsson is older. Karlsson's been doing this longer though too than Radish. So they're not identical, but it's probably as close as the Lightning could have gotten to actually just cloning Radish and having another guy out there. And we'll see how the power play looks. But I think having that righty at the point who has a lot of experience and has been doing it for a long time and been productive for a long time in the power play was very appealing for the Lightning. Unfortunately for them, John Karlsson said, I want to come to the Lightning. I'm going to sign with them, even though I could sign with, all these other teams that might be offering me, contracts.
Dave Mishkin joining us here, Lightning play-by-play man. Tampa Sports Club Hall of Famer, by the way. Got to throw that in there.
Tampa Sports Club MC every year. To my cap to you, JB. That's not an easy job, and you do it so well.
No, I appreciate that, man. But it was so great the night you and Coop. But that was a really special night. We had a good one this year, but that was really special, man. And I don't know, what does that mean to you? And to be there with Coop and the whole fam. That was a great night.
So I've gained and appreciate that was a great night. And also, Dick Vitale went in, Evan Longoria went, quote unquote, my class, right? But I've been to the last three, the middle year of which I was an inductee. But I really enjoyed getting to know some of the personalities that I didn't know well before. Now, this particular year, I knew Joe Fenlon. My kids went to Tampa Prep. So, I mean, I've known him for quite a while, and I knew about his accolades. And I actually did some UT volleyball, if you can believe it. Yeah, they asked me to come in and work with some of the students, and they just basically said, here's the microphone. I'm like, all right, if that's what you want me to do. So I really didn't know much about volleyball. This would have been like fall of 2019 or so. It was pre-pandemic. Yeah. And I'm like, I need to learn volleyball. So I went in because Chris Katnack was also an inductee, longtime volleyball coach at UT. And he's been like an hour with me, kind of explaining the nuts and bolts of it. And I needed to learn the terminology too. That's really, so you talk about like, how do you move from one sport to another? Like, if you can talk on the air, you can probably manage to drift between sports. But somebody who knows a sport will know that you don't know a sport in this one really important way if your language is not the language of the sport.
Yeah.
So the only way to learn that is to be in it. Yeah. And it's almost like learning a new language, right? Yeah. Like in hockey, we talk about, a hard rim. Yeah. Somebody who doesn't know hockey might just be like he shoots it around the boards, or like they wouldn't use the terminology that somebody who's been in the sport knows. So I actually, had no experience with volleyball whatsoever. So I had to kind of listen. I watched some like videos of,
other people doing
NCAA. Like I watched, I think it was like Nebraska and Florida or something played in the previous champion. I watched the replay of it to just hear, like how they describe things, the words that they use. It's still not easy. I was kind of stumbling my way through it. But Chris helped me a lot. So last year I knew some of the people, but I didn't know any of kind of Jimmy Giles' background. I mean, I wasn't in Tampa and I was a kid, I kind of remember Doug Williams, but I didn't have that kind of, grasp on his impact on the team. And I didn't realize that he came in right as they got good. So I've learned a lot, and I really enjoyed, hearing the speeches and getting a history lesson. Basically,
it's a great. The sports club does a great job of really chronicling the history of Tampa Bay sports, and that's why I love it so much. And it's so great when we can have a night where all these people that have been so instrumental in all the different sports. And it's a rare that we get college, high school, pro, the whole gamut together. It's very rare to do that. So I think we're kind of unique in that way. And that's why I love it so. But back to hockey. And there's, it's always going to be, especially now, it's the first round exits, right? It's a first round exit. And you want to say, well, a lot of people from the outside in would say, well, we got to make some big changes because we keep going out in the first round. But you have to look at it in context of who you're losing to, when you're losing to, and how you're losing to them. And I think, for a lot of organizations, and we see this all over hockey, Dave, it's like when things like this happen, boom, they push the panic button. And here everything goes, boom. And it's really a dumb way to do things, in my opinion. When you're so close, it takes a measure of institutional maturity, if I can say that, to understand it. You're still really close. Just because you lose in the first round 4 years in a row doesn't mean you're some fringe team that barely makes the playoffs. The Lightning have been dominating the league for 13 years now. Their record is unlike any other. And I think it takes some institutional maturity to say, we're not going to blow it up. We're going to keep knocking on the door until things kind of go our way and we get back there, because we know what it takes. This core of players knows what it takes. And that in itself is a skill and a knowledge that is as important as anything in sports, to actually know what it takes to be a champion. And these guys still have that. That said, have they done enough to change the dynamic to address, some of the limitations? Face-offs were not good last year. You mentioned the power play. I'm still shocked that we scored 15 goals in 7 games against Montreal. I think the defense was great. And I think Vassy pointed that out at the end. But the question still remains, have we done enough to be able to overcome the first round exits? It's a long-winded question to say, are we good enough to get over the hump?
Well, you never know until you play, right? Right. That's the beauty of sports. It's not scripted. So there are a couple of things to that question, which is a complicated question, but a fair question. First of all, it's a results-based business. So if you go out 4 years in the first round in a row where you've been a regular participant in the playoffs and you've reached greater heights, these questions are going to come, and they're fair questions and they deserve to be answered. The second thing I'll say is the person you want at the helm is somebody who is measured and not knee-jerk. And I think the Lightning have had that in spades. I think Steve Yzerman was that way. He did just step down or moved up, I guess, with Detroit. But when Yzerman was GM of the Lightning, he definitely operated things kind of with a little bit of ice water in his veins. And I think Julian Brisebois is the same way, while at the same time being fearless and bold, right?
Yeah.
So it's a mix. Like Julian is measured, but not timid.
Yeah.
He will make a bold move if he feels it's the right move. That's the person you want at the helm, because that person is not going to overreact to a particular loss or, a series that didn't go your way. So the year that I think Julian felt we need to change directions here was the year that we talked about at the beginning of our chat today, 2024. The Lightning were scoring a lot, but they were giving up way too much. They were near the bottom in goals allowed per game, and they were near the bottom in 5-on-5 ratio, or at least in the bottom third. And this was in stark contrast. They were scoring all these goals. He's like, we need to get better defensively. We need to get better 5-on-5. Bring back McDonough. Bring in Gensel. Vasilevsky healthy. Right. Yep. That was a big part of it. And in the last 2 years, since summer of 2024, the Lightning have been a top 5 defensive team. I'm talking about in the regular season. But you look at their metrics through 82 games, the last 2 years. Goals for, goals allowed, 5-on-5 ratio, power play, penalty kill. In the last 2 years, those 5 metrics, so 10, we have 10 numbers to look at.
Right.
Power play last year was the only one that was middle of the pack. I think 2 years ago, the penalty kill was 6th.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're talking about top 5.
Top 5 in everything. Yeah.
Top 5 in everything. So, you don't want to base everything on the regular season because you need to be able to win in the playoffs. But the regular season is kind of the machinery of your team, right? This is what your team is producing It's different than a playoff series where you're seeing the same opponent
right
7 times over 2 weeks. Regular season has different challenges.
Matchups are huge.
Back-to-backs, hopping around time zones. You have long road trips, homestands. You need to consolidate that. You need to do well enough to get into the playoffs, which is not a foregone conclusion, even though, half the teams do make the playoffs. It's still a challenge. Some good teams missed the playoffs last year, including the back-to-back champion Panthers who missed the playoffs. Exactly. So what the Lightning have done in the last 2 years, I think tells Julian, okay, our machinery is running pretty well.
Right.
The other part of this, which is I think a lot of the outside chatter, the Lightning are old. Their window is closed. The Lightning are old. I'm like, come on. All right, so they added Carlson, who's 36. Victor is 35, turning 36 in December. McDonough is 36. That's not insignificant. I'm going to state that up front. At some point, you're going to have to see some defensemen fill those roles, whether it's through the organization or they make a move. But, McDonough played well last year.
Yeah.
In an injury-plagued year, and I just talked about Carlson. Hopefully Victor Hedman can have a bounce-back year. But look at the bulk of the rest of their team, JP. We're talking about like mid-20s to early 30s.
Yeah.
They are not old, okay? And if they had been old, I think we would have seen that with some of the metrics that I just talked about. So what do we make of these playoff losses? To me, the 2 years they lost to the Panthers, the middle 2 of the 4, they were decisively outplayed.
Yeah.
But year 1, where they lost to Toronto, which now that team doesn't really resemble this team, but if we're going to include that, and last year, those were way more toss-up series.
Yeah.
The Lightning could have won both of those series as easily as they could have lost them. So the result is the same, but how they got there was not the same. So last year, they didn't score enough. You mentioned that in that series against Montreal, but Montreal got a vote. Montreal had something to do with that. Yeah, Montreal D'd up. And they D'd up Buffalo, too, in the next round. They ran into a buzzsaw in Carolina, and I think they also ran out of steam. But let's give some credit to the other team for disrupting what the Lightning wanted to try and do offensively. But the Lightning D'd up, too. If you're going to hold a team, the difference in the series was 1 goal.
1 goal?
Okay. Neither team could score.
Yep.
So if you're going to defend like the Lightning defended in the playoffs last year in that one series against Montreal, you're going to win probably more than you lose. The problem for them was twofold. First of all, their opponent defended just as well, and they were on the wrong end of enough of the big plays that could have flipped the series their way.
Yeah.
Whether it was an overtime goal or a bounce or scoring early in it. Julian talked about this, like scoring early in a period, late in the period, after a goal was scored. Like a lot of the big swing moments, more of those went to Montreal.
Yeah.
But is that like some fundamental problem with the team that you need to address through roster changes? I'm not certain that the answer is yes, which is how Julian is looking at it. Now, they didn't sit back and do nothing. Once they lost Radic, they were able to get another offensive defenseman in. They added speed to their middle 6 and some goal-scoring pop. They wanted Mikheyev. They went out and they got him on July 1. And I think that they tried to get tougher last year. That much was clear. And they feel good about bringing in VL in that regard. They got a young backup goalie to Vasilevsky. But the core of the team is still going to be the core of the team. They're still going to Ryan Kucherov. I think the onus is on Braden Point to have a better year last year, and he said that himself. You still got Hagel. You still got Cirelli. You've got these young players that are emerging, and Dominic James and Gonçalves. We'll see if Sam O'Reilly is able to make an impact this first year. The reviews on him have been off the charts. Fantastic. I thought J.J. Moser took a huge step last year in maybe sliding in to kind of the next McDonough, if you will. There was a reason why he was one of the top plus-minus players in the NHL, talking about J.J. Moser last year.
Yeah.
So, you're right. You don't want to overreact, but you can't ignore the fact that you lost in the first round again. But why did you lose in the first round? How much of it was you? How much of it was your opponent? How much of it were circumstances? And I'm just going to ask this hypothetically. Like, let's say the Lightning had beaten Montreal. Let's say they'd beaten Buffalo.
Yeah.
They could have beaten Buffalo because Montreal beat Buffalo.
Yes.
It was very close. Carolina, to me, it was going to be hard to beat Carolina last year.
I agree.
So let's say the Lightning got to the conference final and lost to Carolina. Would we be having these same questions?
No.
Well, maybe we would. People were saying Marty St. Louis got outcoached in the conference final. Like, I mean, Montreal was criticizing, like, they don't have the right team. Cole Caulfield did nothing in the playoffs. So my point is, there's always going to be a reaction to a loss.
Yeah.
So, yes, we wouldn't be saying they lost 4 years on the first round, but are they a cup team still? Carolina beat them. So I think unless you're winning your last game, there are always going to be some of these questions.
Right. I think there's more because there's 4 first round exits.
Yes.
People are like, they're old. To your point, they're old, they're done, they're past their window. I think if we get to the conference final, people are like, oh, okay, maybe they're not. You know, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something else. But to your point, you know, when the expectations are where they are with the Lightning, and they're all, and that's great. It's a privilege to have those expectations of if you don't win the cup, then it's a loss.
It's hard to win in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll share an anecdote with you, which. I mean, I still am amazed by this when I looked it up. So the Red Wings right now are in like one of the longest playoff droughts in the NHL. I mean, Buffalo had the longest one, which they just ended. I think Detroit is now the top of the list. They're 10 years. Yeah. 10 years without making the playoffs. Prior to that, though, they made the playoffs every year
22
since
years,
like
1991.
1990-91, they made it, and then they didn't miss it until 2017. Okay.
Yeah.
So year 21, I remember the season ended, the Lightning missed the playoffs. This was 2012, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Red Wings were entering their 21st season of making the playoffs. So I'm like, all right, these 20 years, what did they do? So I went back and looked at the 20 years that they'd made the playoffs with great teams. I mean, okay, you want to say they were building at the beginning? First couple, fine. But by the mid-90s, they were one of the best teams in the NHL. So they won 4 cups in those 20 years. That's terrific, right? That's 20% of the time they were winning a cup. In 4 other years, they either got to the final or lost in the conference final, okay? So 8 of the 20, they were there, right? Either to the semifinals or the finals. That means in 12 of the 20 years, they went out in the first or second round.
Yeah.
I mean, some years it was a huge upset.
Yeah.
Some years maybe they had injuries. Some maybe at the beginning, toward the end. I mean, they were still a pretty good team in by 2011, basically, when I stopped, you know, that 20-year period ended. But it really illustrated to me, like, you could be a really good team and lose in the playoffs early. I mean, it happens. And I'm not saying this because the Lightning lost in the first round the last 4 years. You are facing really good opponents, and hockey, the margin is usually very, very narrow between winning and losing, usually. Now, when we look at a cup winner, like, to me, Carolina, I use this term a lot, like they were the Kool-Aid man bursting through the wall this year. Everything went right for them, but they earned what they got. Florida, I feel the year before was the same way. So you can see elements to a team that they're a good team already, but they got in a groove where it was almost like it was going to be very, very hard to derail them. But not every team that wins the cup reaches that level, right? Like, some teams are just slightly better than their opponent, which is also a really good team. So I think we need to keep that in mind in this particular sport. Maybe in other sports it's different. I think in this sport, though, because you lose in the playoffs doesn't mean that there's something fundamentally wrong with your team. And I think Carolina learned that lesson. Yeah, they made some changes. They brought in Ehlers. They brought in Keandre Miller. They didn't stand pat. But for all those years under Brindamore, they couldn't get past the third round. Yeah. Usually they went out. They always won a round. But they usually went out in the second or third round. People are like, Carolina's just not built to win a cup. They don't have a game breaker, all this. Yeah. Well, what do they show this year?
But, yeah, to your point.
I mean, they made some changes. They make changes every year, though. And was it their top line that really did the damage for them? They were okay, but, I mean, it was really the Hall, Blake, Stankoven line that did a lot of the heavy lifting. And depth. Their fourth line came up with huge goals. Stahl had a great find. Yeah, I mean, like,
big goals, big times. Yeah.
It's right until it's not right. Like, this argument is fine until they actually win. And then you're like, oh, well, okay. You know, everything, maybe they didn't need a superstar to win a cup. So that's the challenge for the GM to kind of say, all right, I need to kind of separate the wheat from the chaff or whatever and like figure out, like, don't throw out, I have all the expressions, right? Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Like, you have to figure out what is important, what's a critical part to your team's success. And losing in the playoffs doesn't mean that the whole thing needs to be blown
exactly.
up.
But
which was your point
do it all the
originally.
Time. The teams
do
it all
the
the
time.
It's weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
All right, the Lightning will strangely open up at a wedding venue in New York against the Rangers, which is weird.
Among other things.
At MSG, and then they'll come home against the Caps to get things going. So we're not that far away.
Schedule is getting released today, too.
Yeah, right.
1 p.m., I think.
I think you guys are the most interested in it. Yeah, you guys that travel with the team are probably the most interested in the schedule, right? To see where your life is going to be and how many incredible road trips that you go on.
Yeah,
we should just have you on to do road trip stories one day. That would be fun. All right, before you go,
yes,
you are known worldwide for being one of the most passionate play-by-play men in the world. It's why we love you. But there's this World Cup thing going on, and these guys are absolutely bananas. So let me play a little bit of this for you, and just to get a little Dave Mishkin reaction. I'm gonna fast forward to kind of the end here because this is the money part right here. Oh wait. All right, here we go.
Messi mete el centro.
All right, that's enough. When you see that, this is the glory of sports, though.
It's
man.
sincere. Like,
yes,
he is
100%.
It is completely from the heart, and he's completely in the moment. And so, I mean, the World Cup is like the Super Bowl on steroids. Okay.
Yes.
And unlike the Super Bowl, which is all of these are one and dones, but like it's a process, like how many kind of pull a rabbit out of the hat victories has Argentina had in this tournament, right?
Crazy.
Like every single one, it's like they're on the cusp of going out and then they find a way to win. So this has been building.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've done soccer. I did minor league soccer for 3 years. It's actually, from a play-by-play standpoint, it's not too dissimilar from hockey, which may sound really weird.
No,
because the pace of play is different, but it's like fluid motion of the ball and the puck are, constantly in motion. You're trying to score a goal. I mean, it's actually not that different in terms of describing it. But, the huge difference is that it is much harder to score.
Yeah.
In soccer than it is in hockey, maybe this Montreal Lightning series notwithstanding. And when you're down by a goal with whatever it was, 6 minutes left.
Yeah.
To win?
Yeah.
Like to win before, like that's like picking the right number on the roulette wheel or something. I mean, like it just doesn't happen.
England,
right.
In the semifinals, and it's
right.
Nasty. All that, to your point.
Right after they hit the post too,
and all that comes together to produce this. And it's weird that it's kind of an equation that goes into this burst of emotion, but you know it better than anybody. And that the story matters, right? The story matters to your reaction to the authenticity of the call, right? I mean,
and I don't think he's thinking like, and I'm this way. Like you're not thinking about what you're just reacting in the moment.
No, but it's almost like an organic buildup.
Yeah,
right?
And I mean to score. What did they score? Like a minute into extra time, but the injury stoppage.
Yeah,
I mean that's basically an overtime goal.
Yeah,
I mean that's basically what it was. Which they don't have that in soccer.
How have you been enjoying the World Cup?
I've caught a little bit here and there. I have to be honest. It's not like I've sat down and did a total deep dive. The one match for the U.S. I watched was unfortunately the one that they lost, where it was clear that they got badly outplayed. But it still brings back good memories because I have learned some of the terminology of the sport. I'm not sure I remember it.
I got to hear your goal calls for soccer.
Well, it wasn't that dissimilar. But I remember when I started doing that was really the first sport where I was like, okay, I need to learn the terminology of soccer, and because we had our own team in Hershey. I spent a lot of time with the coaches and, just being around the team to learn the language. And I'm like, what's a hospital ball?
Yes.
It's like, okay, that makes sense. It's a pass. You're putting a guy in a really tough spot, or like, what do they call it? A suicide pass in football or something. I mean, the terminology, through ball, over the top. Like there was different, sentence structures that were used that somebody who knows soccer, like my first soccer broadcast, somebody would have listened to me like, yeah, he's keeping up with the play, but he has no idea what
he's no soccer guy.
Yeah, he's not using the language of the sport.
Jargon of the sport. Everyone has.
You need to learn it.
The lifelong,
So I appreciate that when I hear the announcers who are calling, not the Spanish guy, which I couldn't understand exactly the translation. I heard Messi and goal, right? But the English announcers, many of whom are British, of course, and it adds like gravitas to the call too, right? It's pretty neat to hear them call a game.
Well, Dave, listen, man, thank you so much for taking the time. And I don't know whether we mention these things or not, but I just I see Stella in the background there, and just the work that you guys did. It just and my heart just goes out to you for the passing, and it's just I was with you the whole way, and what you guys did at the hospitals, I never got enough of those posts, and just watching her work and watching what you guys did, man, super, super special. And I just, love you, love the dog, the whole thing is just, sometimes there's no words for things, but I wanted to just
thank you, JP.
Put that out there.
Look, she loved going to the hospital. She was a great dog, just so friendly, loved people, especially, got excited. She knew when we would go to the hospital because she had a special leash that I'd pull out. And she got excited. Dogs are smart about it. They're very super intuitive smart. Too. like they super know, like, smart. Oh, we're going for a walk. I can tell, right?
Yeah.
Or, we're going to this place where I get to meet all these different people with all these, sterile smells, but interesting smells. And, it's difficult to lose a pet.
Yeah.
When you get a pet, at some point you're going to lose the pet. And we have lots of pets in our house. We've been a pet family for years. So it comes with the territory. That going in. It doesn't make it any easier. And it was very sudden, which on the one hand was difficult, but on the other hand, it was almost like, well, she didn't really have to deal with a lot of discomfort very long, which was a blessing. But as you come through on the other side, you just try and appreciate the time that you had with the animal. And, I had a very special bond with her, obviously, because we did a lot of this community work, but it didn't really feel like work. It's just like, I don't have an office to punch a clock in, so if I had time, and I developed a relationship with the people at TGH. So I would text them and like, hey, we're available Tuesday morning. And they're like, come on in. So it was a very smooth process to go in and spend, 60, 90 minutes there interacting with patients and staff, and she got a lot out of it too. So it's a lot more interesting than laying under the kitchen table, which she didn't mind doing that either. But, but thank you. It was a really memorable time in my life to be able to share that with her.
Great work, fantastic work. Well, thank you, partner. Appreciate it. I'll see you soon. And thank you for spending so much time with us here today. We really appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back on the other side. We'll get to your comments here there we go. Sorry. There we go. All right, there we go. We'll get to your comments on all the fun stuff. So we are brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. Boy, thanks for the wings. Have some leftovers, too. We got everybody hopefully fed for the week. And they're also, Andres was so nice, the owner over there at Riveters who joined us, offered up a few of his hazy IPA kegs for our bar here at Kingmakers, which I'm very excited about because that's what they do at Riveters. They make their own beer. They have a sour as well. They have a lager. It's one of the great things about Riveters. They love making beer. They love making food, and they do it with a purpose. It's not just, hey, we got people here. Let's slop out some sports bar food from the freezer. That's not what they do. Everything is handmade. The sauces are handmade. They don't have a freezer for any of their food. That's why it's so damn good. We were talking about the prime rib tacos here yesterday. It's just the best. Riveters Tampa, best food, best staff. The staff is fantastic. That makes a difference as well. That's why we love them. Riveters right there, just north of 275, south of the stadium on Dale Mabry. Back in 3. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now.
Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Thank you so much for joining us here, but it's so fun to talk with Dave. Just texting with him in the break, and man, we talked about volleyball play-by-play, soccer play-by-play. I could talk for hours with that guy. Oh man, just the best of the best. We thank him so much for taking the time. Hey, we are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, soon to be AJ Gallagher Insurance, as they're joining the big boys, but you're going to get that same customer service that you've gotten from Italiano Insurance for 60 years. They've been doing the business here in Tampa Bay, many times Better Business Bureau Small Business of the Year. They do it all. And what they do mostly is you call them, 813-877-7799. You tell them, hey, can you shop around my auto insurance, my homeowner's insurance, my flood insurance, my business insurance? Make sure you have it all. They'll take care of all that stuff, find you the best deals. And now with AJ Gallagher, you have even more options and the big buying power of the big business. So you get the little thing and the big thing makes a great thing. It's Italiano Insurance, soon to be AJ Gallagher Insurance, 813-877-7799. Timmy, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Mish.
Mish, obviously I've never met the guy, but he seems like the kind of dude to be fun to have a beer with and just let the conversation carry the night, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And how about that? It's like, they ask you to help out and mentor some of the broadcasters, and he says, you know what? I need to learn how to call volleyball games. Yeah. So the guy prepped for volleyball games to teach everybody. He's just the consummate professional, the absolute consummate professional. So, but I do want to hear one of his soccer goal calls. That would have been
that would be great,
tremendous. So I'm like, why are some of these folks in green here on our? You guys don't see it, but I do. It's because they are our VIP Peterman members, and that's Pooh Shiesty. And when you become a member by going to YouTube and subscribing to our 2 different levels, your comments go to the top of the line, and then we read them. Like this, Pooh Shiesty says the Bucks open at Cincy. How about a VIP Peterman party at Kingmakers on September 13th? I think I like what you're doing there, Pooh Shiesty. Maybe we can get Timmy on an airplane to get his butt over here for the season opener. That sounds like fun to me.
I mean, I can drive just as easy as I can fly.
Come on, get in your car. Let's go.
Everybody's
here sooner.
I don't know why everybody's so obsessed with getting on a freaking tin coffin and flying through the air. I just don't understand.
Well, especially these days when so many times you get rerouted or delayed, and then it's a 15-hour process anyway.
Terrifying.
So, yeah. No, my rule of thumb is if it's more than a 4-hour drive, 4 to 4 hour drive, then I'll look into buying anything less than that. It really doesn't make sense, in my opinion, because you got to get ready. So you got to leave for the airport at least 2.5 hours before, depending on how long your trip is to the airport. Right. And then because you got to get there an hour and a half before, and then you got flight time. And then when you get there, you got to wait for your bag. I mean, there's a lot going into it, so
it's not convenient at all.
No, I don't mind driving for the most part. I don't
love driving. I like driving overnight. Like I get my thoughts. You can't see much because it's dark. There's less traffic. I love driving overnight.
Yeah. So when I went up to North Carolina this time, Google says go 75 through Atlanta. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do that. So we went up 95 and then went back roads to Savannah.
Screw you, GPS.
Yes. And then took all the back roads through Georgia and South Carolina. And that's cool. I mean, you see a lot of things, man. You see a lot. You go through some of these old towns that look like they're still 1975, which is really cool. You see a lot of things. You see a little dog like coming across the highway, not even, the 2-lane highway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no. But it was like this. And then I saw he walks right into his little dog house. He had a little dog house. This is a dog that lives near the road, off a leash. And he knows the cars. He understands it. Now Tally doesn't. Tally would run out of the car, front of the car if it happened. But the dog just, that's where he lives. And you see stuff like I saw, all types of different animals. It's kind of cool. All right, back to our Petermans, which you never know who's coming out here. Alejandro says, good morning, Petermans. I want to ask you guys about possibly who would you like to see the Rays trade for? It can be anyone, both being dream trade or trades that are more realistic. I want to hear. We did a lot of that with Big O in his last show. We'll probably do some more of it today.
Aaron Judge.
Not that bum. He's always hurt.
He is always hurt.
He's always hurt. You're going to pay him too much money. He says, how about Rushman being an upgrade for us at catcher? There's something to be said about being that cash called to have Adley catch for Drew. I think there's something there. He would be a great addition. I mean, it would improve you drastically defensively and offensively. So, yes. Good morning, Danny Boy, to you. Yes, season opener of the Rangers at the Tete wedding venue. Hello to you, Nathan Elliott. Missed you the other night. What else we got here? Rick says England is 0-2 in the U.S. Indeed, they are. And actually 0-3 because they lost did they even play in the 94 World Cup? There have been years they didn't even make it.
Yeah.
But might be 0-3. Yeah. Hard to root for those guys. Just hard to. Buck in 0220 says, I know it's making its round, but the photo of Messi with baby Lamine Yamal is one of the most insane things ever. Parents win a charity raffle when he was a baby, and now they are in the finals together. Yeah, what is that all about? I heard them talking about that this morning. Is this an AI thing, or what is this about? Do you know, Timmy?
I don't know.
So there's a picture of Messi in his long hair with Lamine Yamal when he was a baby, and I'm wondering what that's all about. Now this is the ceremonial, passing of the torch, so to speak. That's a lot to put on Yamal, frankly, but yeah, that's one of the great storylines of the final on Sunday, being played in New Jersey, but it's New York. No, it's New Jersey. In a crappy stadium. Alejandro said, since the Bucs and Rams are the only two teams to win a Super Bowl on their home field and we're back-to-back, which one is more impressive to you guys? I would say the Bucs because Ray J is our home only. I think the whole home field thing is just more of a thing of chance, And, of course, and two weird teams too, right? Number one, the Bucs was during COVID. So we couldn't really have hardly any fans there at all. Right. It was just it was 20,000 fans, and most of them were corporate people, and very few Buccaneer fans got to see it. So that kind of sucked. And then with the Rams really don't have a fan base. You guys, man, they just I was out there for that. Was it that Super Bowl that they won? Whatever. When I was out there, they were playing in the Super Bowl. I think it was, yeah. And it's like, for like the big fan events, there was a big Rams fan event. Like on the Thursday, we were down on Radio Row. There was like 100 Rams fans that showed up. It's like 100 fans that showed up, wow. and on Super Bowl week for Thursday Rams Fan Fest. It's like that's so LA. So you had two teams that won in their own stadiums, but it wasn't like Buffalo winning in their stadium or Kansas City winning in their stadium with their fans. We still kind of yet to see that, to see, what I would call a real, quote, home field advantage. Is that fair?
Yeah.
But
I hate LA fans.
It's just one of those things. It's just not, it sounds like a big deal, but it kind of what. Now, had it not been COVID for the Buccaneers, that's a different story. Maybe a lot more of our fans could have seen it. Okay, is this the picture? Let's see.
Yeah, so I'm what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing it from multiple news outlets. It's not AI, it's real. The photographer was Joan Monfort. I don't know if she's a famous European photographer or whatever. There's no background as like what this was for, but apparently the photographer is friends with the baby's mom, with Yamal's mom, I guess, because there's pictures of the mom also on the photo shoot with long-haired Messi. But of course, here they are together now, or not together, but here they are now. But yeah, no, it's like it was a real thing, and it like the soccer world's going nuts over this.
That's crazy.
Is this the equivalent? So if we throw it hockey-wise, is this like the equivalent of baby Wayne Gretzky being bathed by Gordie Howe?
Something like that, yeah. I think. Yeah.
Oh, well,
that's crazy.
Apparently it's real.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, we're going to see that picture a lot.
Oh, you know what they need to do? They need to reenact it like now.
I don't think we need to do that.
Do it side by side.
Trust me, it's already been done by AI.
Then and now. If it wasn't, I was going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you will anyway. You can just find it. Buckin 0220 says even the people who like soccer in America already don't really like the MLS because they don't see it as true soccer without pro and relegation. I think is what
is that part of the problem that's just not the like we talked about earlier. The level of competition is not there for true soccer fans.
Yeah, I mean, just watch the games. Like when we're done with the World Cup here, go watch an MLS game. No offense, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
I just feel like to me it all looks the same. Like I don't see any difference.
I think it's dramatic.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I think it's dramatic. Yeah.
Is it speed? Like, what am I looking for that's different? Like speed
no, I think, more than, and I'm going to sound stupid here, but I think we should get Jeff to talk about this, but it's like, the first touch of a ball, a long cross or a long ball, and a guy, you'll see Messi just in stride, just take it off his foot or his chest or something, and then control the ball. And then it's just their skill level. Their skill level and ability is just so much better. And that's why the best players in America go to Europe to play.
And I get all of that. Like, I get there's a difference in skill level. I don't know what skilled soccer looks like. Like, I don't know what.
Well, and then when you put, the whole team together, and you have a bunch of guys that high level skill, and they're passing from each other and they can connect 27 passes before they score a goal,
like crisp passing and things like that.
Yes. It's just the execution of the game is so much at a higher level. Okay. And when you see it done at that level, you're like, wow, that's really, really, that's crazy good. And then when you see it done at other levels, you're like, it's not so good. And you see it. Doesn't mean it's not great, exciting competition. It's just like, to your point, there's a lot of things that go into making things exciting, right? And if that's your team and, everybody's on the same level, it's just that there's that next level of incredible skill that makes it amazing to watch. And that's why the World Cup is such a big deal, because these are the greatest players in the world, and the world comes together, and it is indeed a global game. Everybody plays it. Very few countries play American football. Baseball is getting bigger. Basketball is getting bigger, but still soccer is truly the only global sport. Rick says, when JP starts wearing scarves on the show, then I'll take his soccer passion seriously. Not your ascots that you wear to the theater, but actual scarves.
That's another thing I've talked about. I don't get the scarves. I don't understand.
I do own a soccer scarf because I was at the original press conference for the Atlanta United, or whatever their team is called. When I was working for the Falcons, because Arthur owned that team. You know why he bought an MLS team?
Oh, yeah. I've read this story because of his wife, right?
And their kids and his stepkids. Yeah, they all love soccer. They're like, they were kind of passionate about soccer. He's like, well, I'll just go buy an MLS thing, and I'll build a stadium for it. And the fact that for the first few years, the soccer team was outdrawing the Falcons.
Oh, my gosh. That's insane.
They packed the place. I think they still do. They won a championship. Yeah. So I do have an Atlanta scarf. It's kind of cool awesome. Too. Now, have I ever worn it in public? That'd be a no. Maybe I'll wear it for you one day. Yeah. I don't even know where it is, to be honest with you. Alejandro says the Rams sharing the stadium with the Chargers makes me feel a little bit upset that the Rams won in SoFi. Don't worry about it, man. It's not that big a deal. Bucket says, I think the vast majority of sports fans don't really love the sport itself. They love winning, the storylines, and the idea of being part of a fan in a community. Yeah, of course, 100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't matter what the sport is, right? You want to be part of a winner. But to that point is when the market is so saturated, Timmy. I mean, there's, lacrosse, professional lacrosse is getting to be a big deal,
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was professional lacrosse.
Yeah, it's professional lacrosse.
I would watch that over soccer, though. To me, that's more entertaining than soccer.
Yeah. Man Bear Pig says fans are very excited to hear Gruden play-by-play. Maybe Bucks are back tracking their new hire. Well, he's not doing play-by-play. That would be interesting. I think it's Chris Myers, Rondé, and Gruden.
No, but Gruden came out and said he wants to do play-by-play. Like that, maybe that's what he's referring to. I saw that. There's a story out there that Gruden wants to do play-by-play.
That's a bad idea.
Maybe that's what he's referring to. I saw that story, though.
That's a very bad idea.
I think it might be entertaining. Now that guy's got the ball, and then he throws it over to this guy with the ball. He throws it down the field, and then he said, well, look at that tackle. What the hell is that guy doing?
Yeah. No. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Rick, so you're saying that England is a 2-time loser on North American soil? Yeah, maybe more than that.
I don't know. They kind of kicked our asses in 1812.
They didn't stay.
They didn't have to.
So what was the point? We're just going to come burn your White House?
Burn your White House and
Go
steal
home,
your women.
limey bastards.
Go brush your damn teeth.
Yeah. What teeth you have left. hating on the Limeys today. Paul Stewart is going to be very pissed. I'd love to get it. I should have got him on the show today to talk about England. He's probably beside himself on that. Can you imagine what the morning sports talk shows are like in London today?
Oh my God.
on that debacle?
You think they have sports radio over there?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure they do.
No.
They talk about football all the time, but just, to hear some, indignant Englishman speaking of the choking of, they've got to be funny. It's got to be really funny. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back on the other side, Kam Babb's going to join us, former Ohio State wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka's roommate. So we'll find out details on the wedding. I don't know if he had to sign an NDA, though. You think he had to sign an NDA?
It's not Taylor Swift.
I don't think so. But also, he's got a great nonprofit that I want to learn more about, that we all need to learn more about. So we will do that when we come back, and then more of your comments. Big O Show coming up at 12:30. We'll be talk some Rays baseball and all that good stuff. Back in 3. JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler. So don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source. So if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's the love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Let's go.
Right now.
Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back, man. We got a lot going on here in the break as I walk out.
Looks like it.
We have a golf simulator right on the other side of this wall, and so Mike Murphy, our owner here and our mentor, is giving a golf lesson to Brett Phillips from the Rays. So I'm like, wow. And Cam walks in, and Jeff Ford is here, so we'll welcome you guys in as well. So there's a lot going on here, guys. Welcome back. Get up on the microphones here. So we're gonna kind of fly by the seat of our pants here. I was telling them normally we have a long pre-interview process, but just logistics kept us from doing that. So we're just gonna find out what you guys are up to. So I'll introduce you, and you guys fill in the spots. Kam Babb, you will be known as you played at Ohio State with Emeka Egbuka. That's how all the fans know. Now, are you guys still roommates?
Yes, currently he's being gracious enough to let me stay.
Even though he just got married.
Yeah, he
wow,
did.
cool.
Did. Yeah. So.
And Jeff Ford is part of the Man Up and Go nonprofit that you guys are doing here. Well, I'll let you guys explain the whole thing. So welcome into our humble abode here.
Yeah, thanks for having us. What a spot, man.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
I love it, yeah.
We had a big event, our first big event here the other night for the All-Star game. We had a lot of our listeners come in, and it was really fun. So we're kind of, exploring the spaces, Will Ferrell would say, and we're enjoying it. So
that's awesome, man.
You get to see we got celebrities running around. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Listen, I saw the golf simulator. I immediately wanted to hop on. So.
Yeah, well, we could do that after the show. We're good. The rest of Estrada will be here in a little bit to do his show. So there's always a lot of things going on here. But I'm so thankful you guys came in here. Just to tell the listeners and the viewers, I met Cam at an event, Cal Ripken event, and you were gracious enough to introduce yourself and told me a little bit about what you guys are doing. And I'm really interested to hear, because the things that you told me, I think about mentoring young kids and the importance of fathers in the home, I think is something I've been talking about for a long time. Just, as you do these, you go along being a father yourself, and you just watch your kids going through school. You see the need, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. So tell us what you're doing.
Yeah. So Jeff, obviously the CEO of Man Up and Go. I just jumped on board full time in January. So got done with Ohio State, worked there for a little minute after playing, and then just created a relationship with Jeff and the Man Up staff, and kind of what you were saying, just saw the need for mentorship, discipleship, with young men in this generation, with fathers, and you look in the household just throughout our country, and we see the breakdown of the family, and so just even in the locker room growing up, just if I could recount all the guys that either didn't have a dad or had a dad, but the dad wasn't really present even though he was there. So just my heart really just God put it on my heart to join the staff full time and really fight this mission of ending the cycle of generational fatherlessness. And so we do a lot in the foster care system here in Tampa. We're trying to get into Ohio, and really all 50 states would be the goal. We do stuff in Uganda as well. I know Jeff will talk on it as well, but really that's the goal, is to see that cycle ended and just see young men loved and cherished, and then brought up in the way they should go. So just coming along that mission.
Yeah. Jeff, what got you involved in this?
I ended up adopting from Ethiopia, and there was a bunch of dudes that were going there, and they're like, "Hey, you want to come? You're adopting from there." And I'd never even really been out of the country. I went to Cancun, on my wedding. That was about it that I knew of the world.
Yeah, this is a little different deal.
This is a little different. So we went to Ethiopia. I just fell in love with the people, and it was just a bunch of guys who were kind of type A's and kind of running my speed and wanted to run life well, and wanted to do something about the 700 million fatherless kids in the world. And so
700 million.
Wow. And here in the U.S., 1 in 4 are growing up without a dad. And 50%, this is a crazy stat, 50% of kids born to women under the age of 30 have no dad present. So 1 in 2. And then we wonder why our boys are growing up all wilding out and stuff, because they had no example at home. And this shout out to all the single moms, because they're the one putting in the hard work.
Hell yeah.
So that's so we support them. A lot of the stuff that we do supports single moms. But at the end of the day, like, the better design is that mom and dad would be there together. Right. And so that's really, we're trying to call men back into the home and say, listen, you have a role to play. Unfortunately, it is starting to happen. Like the Gen Z, they're seeing like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I need to take more of a role in my kids' lives. But unfortunately, there's been a lot of damage done over the past probably 30, 40, 50 years where dads have just, pieced out.
What do you think the sociological factors are that created that?
Oh, man, that's a deep question.
I know,
that's
but
a deep question. But I will tell you this. So one of the biggest things, and some people might not like to hear this, but Ronald Reagan in 1969, as the governor of California, instituted no-fault divorce. So it used to be that you needed a reason to divorce. Okay. Now, I get people, you have irreconcilable differences, but irreconcilable differences became the easy way out for men in particular to say, yo, I don't need, because men, we're kind of loners, right? We can do okay on our own. Women, they have the children, they're their kids, right? They want to take the kids. And so it became really easy for men to get out of the relationship. Fast forward to the 90s, and if you'll remember this, Kam won't, because he's just a star in his mom's eye, right? At that point. But in the 90s, Bill Clinton signed a 3 strikes and you're out act. And so what we did is we took men with small drug offenses and locked them away for a decade, because it was their 3rd strike.
How stupid is
that?
So
we had a whole bunch of generations impacted the African-American community disproportionately, who grew up without dad in the home. And so I think we're still reeling from those 2 things. Those are 2 kind of big events that happened in the culture.
So what are you doing, like boots on the ground now, to change that?
Yeah, for me, my goal is to really just bring in support for the organization, whether that's financially, whether that's just volunteer-wise, prayer, whatever that looks like, however people want to get involved. But really want people to have the heartbeat for the mission. And I think when I'm meeting with people, everybody, whether you had a dad or you didn't have a dad, can see the need for it. So I think that's a beautiful thing. But we have 4 different, I guess you could say, parts of our programming. We work with youth and young men or young men. We have a group of guys here in Tampa specifically that go out to different group homes with these guys, these young men, and create relationships with them. Build with them, have that mentorship kind of model there. But really, one of our guys on the staff, he says something beautiful, because you see guys, older guys, come into younger guys' lives for a season of life, and then they might just leave, or hey, I helped you in this season. But the guys on our staff, one of our guys said that he wants to be there really the rest of their life, honestly, in their weddings. And so we have guys work with them, teach them practical things of life. What does it look like to change a tire? What does it look like to just be a young man? Because a lot of the stuff that they grew up in is normal to them, but it's like chaos. And so they don't really know what stability is, I think, sometimes. So we have that. Then we have our fatherhood program, which is a group of guys going to meet with our fathers that we work with that have either lost their kids to the foster care system or in the process of it. So we're coming alongside of them, helping them walk through life, and really just trying to show them a better way, that they are worthy to be loved, to be cared for, just as a man, to be there. And then really just be patient with at the same time, too, because I think society is not so patient with men. We're not patient with ourselves as well. So really to come alongside them and just walk through life with them. And then we do stuff in Uganda.
That's Big O. Big O's here.
Yeah. So how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you, man.
That's Kam. You guys know each other? Yeah.
we met,
Big O knows everybody.
Yeah, we met at
the Cal Ripken thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll Big O will join us in a little bit. Hanging out. All right. So Jeff, if people want to get involved in this, how can they do that?
Yeah. So best way is go to our website, manupandgo.org. There literally is a button there that says get involved. So it's super easy. You can do that. Kam's role is kind of in the philanthropy and then the giving. We just launched an initiative called a Defender Initiative. So for $1.17 a day, if someone wants to give, and for a lot of guys, they're busy, they got their own lives, whatever, but they believe in ending fatherlessness. Like that's a mission that resonates with them. So they could just give, $35 a month. That is not a big ask. So you can always support the organization that way. But those are two big ways, that you can do it. We always need mentors and volunteers, man. Always, always, always. So if they want to, just go to our website and let us know.
All right. I definitely want to get involved in this. It's something that's been near and dear to my heart. I think, fathers are so vitally important. I mean, mothers are too. I'm not comparing, but dads, and I see so many of the young men today that are just so messed up. And normally the first question is there a dad involved? Nope, there's not, and to your point, the moms are doing a great job, but kids are meant to grow up in a home with both parents. There's a vital role for both of them, and that's when it works best. Yeah. So I really want to champion this with you guys and promote whatever is going on and get involved in it. So I appreciate that. All right, now to the fun stuff. Your roommate.
Yes.
Is he a slob? Tell us about it. I mean,
nah, he's
there ain't a chance of that.
He's a clean guy. He's put together.
Does he cook well?
I
would. Are you the cook?
I don't want to bash him. No, I think he get if he really tried, I think he would be good. Emeka's one of those guys. If he picks up something, he just gets good at it incredibly fast. It's
I can imagine
for me. Yeah. But I think if he tried, he would be good. But
when he first got here, I heard so much about him and did a little bit of research. And one of the things that really jumped out, and you're involved in this as well, is the faith thing that you guys brought to Ohio State and in the national championship. Unfortunately, our media does not cover these things. Yeah. They do not they edit out portions when athletes talk about God and how it impacts their life, which I think is just ridiculous. But that is a faith piece that I think is very interesting. And since you were part of it and led it, you were a two-time captain at Ohio State. And Emeka is really, and Baker and a lot of the Buccaneer players have brought this to this team. Yeah. And I think a lot of times people don't understand how that helps a team win. Mm-hmm. You hear this silly thing. It's like, well, does God pick a side? Mm-hmm. Does they want Ohio State to win and not Indiana? It's like, that's not how it works. Yeah. Maybe you could explain it a little better.
Yeah, man. Well, I think it just goes so much deeper than just football or sports or whatever.
Yeah.
People, I think it goes back to just identity. And a lot of questions that I get, at least, was at Ohio State, was it real? And it's a funny question because you see these guys that have, pretty much everything that a lot of people want at certain times. And what I saw in the locker room just myself was this empty void in their hearts still, where you have the people looking at you, you're scoring the touchdowns, you get a national championship, but yet you still yearn for something more. And then I think that's where just one by one at Ohio State, you saw people experience Jesus, truthfully.
Yeah.
And you just kind of saw this effect that the question of, okay, who are you outside of this sport? When this sport ends, when you got to hang up the cleats, that question, I was told that question when I was 10 years old, but until it hits you,
right,
it doesn't actually hit you. And so you're seeing guys experience Jesus and then tell others about Jesus. And then on campus, you just saw this movement, if you want to call it, of people coming to the Lord. And then it's not just a movement, though. It actually becomes who we are. So I would say Emeka is not just a Christian itself that plays football, but he is a believer in Jesus, and he just so happens to play football, and he's great at it. Same with other guys. But I think it goes back to identity. It goes back to going back to the fatherlessness. Who are you as a person? And everything in life, really, when you think about it, will come to an end. So that question of when you close your eyes, you take your last breath. What is your relationship with God like?
Yeah.
And I think we find that in Jesus. And so see the change of character through guys, it comes from our ultimate Father, our Heavenly Father. And so that's really just it's a move that only God could do himself.
And as it manifests itself into bringing the team closer together.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah. Again, it's one of those things where it can't be forced, and I don't think it was forced. But when guys see you walk a certain way in life, there's a curiosity, there's an interest, and I think Jesus speaks for himself. You don't necessarily have to. I mean, again, no offense to nobody that does this, but for me at least, I didn't have to run around just preaching, even though that is a part of it. But it was more the way that I live, I think attracted people on the team. Same with Emeka and all the other guys as well. So
yeah. And he feels to me, I've covered a lot of guys and I kind of came up through Florida State when Coach Bowden was there. And then the faith piece was a huge part of the success of that program. And I saw it, how it plays out, brings people together. holding people accountable. All of the Christian values really do translate well into building a team. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree. I think just the character aspect. Jesus literally comes in and he flips your whole character upside down. And I think just it's something that the world does. The world doesn't know him, but he's a light in the darkness. And I think,
and this is going on with the Bucks too now, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not in the locker room, so
but you hear that, but
just knowing what I know about who Emeka is, just as a brother, I just know he's going to be who he is, and so I'm excited to see what, even just around the league, just at Ohio State, like you got Travion Henderson with the Patriots, G. Scott thinks with the Jets, we got one of our close brothers, Xavier Johnson with the Bengals, and so many other guys seeing the impact or believing the impact that they're going to have in the NFL. Just the foundation was really set at Ohio State, so it'll be cool to see just a Lord move.
And I got to brag on him because he won't tell you this. That's why it's good for me to be here and tell the story. But when CJ Stroud, who's with the Texans now, came on campus at Ohio State, this is the guy who was like, "Hey, we're going to church, man. Let's go." And kind of brought him in. And so now you see CJ, I really feel like in the last few years has been that guy kind of front forward facing in the NFL that's not afraid to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
And now you see other guys doing it. And it's like, it doesn't have to be weird. It's just like, if that's important to you, okay, talk about it. And to your point, to let the media cut that stuff out, it's like, why? That's part of who they are.
If they were talking about like a guru who taught them how to, be faster or stronger, they'd give 5 minutes to it.
Absolutely.
Right. But but talking about anything or anyone that makes you a better human and makes you, more dedicated to your craft and all these different traits that are part of it, why is that not, it gives you self-confidence. Why is that not just as important as anything else? It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. And of course, everybody wants to know, we're talking about Emeka. You see the leadership, you see it firsthand. You saw it at Ohio State. I mean, your story is incredible. And you went 5 surgeries. You were a top 75 player recruit coming out, going to Ohio State. And you just, your whole career is just derailed by injuries. I mean, that's got to test you in a character way that, few can recover from that.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, it was tough, man. But I think it did. You only grow, I think, in certain aspects through the hard things that you go through. And there's a lot of times I definitely wanted to quit. And again, that question of, okay, who am I outside of, since you're, a lot of these guys, since they're 8 years old, 5 years old, whenever, they're the best in their class, the best in the country, whatever it may be, best in their team. And then when you can't do that thing that you were always told you're really good at, that question arises. And then it was really for me until I met Jesus. Through like an Uber driver that really changed my whole life. Quite honestly, that guy I prayed for, his name's Darnell, man, back in Columbus, Ohio. Prayed for me and just changed my whole life. And then I just wanted to give everything I could to the game for Jesus, and I wanted to tell the world about this God that saved my soul. And so
that's a cool story, man. That's a really cool story.
Yeah, but Emeka and all them were a huge part in like speaking life into me, going back to just the team.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have got through that if it weren't for guys like Emeka. So
you gonna lead us to a Super Bowl?
I believe in Emeka, Jesus, but I also believe in Emeka and just who he is.
I do too.
The team too. So
I've covered a lot of championship teams, and there's a piece of leadership that is so absolutely. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but it's the type of leaders, and I've seen them, and whether it's a soft-spoken person like Charlie Ward, or somebody who might be more boisterous like a Derek Brooks, or they're just, they come in all forms, but there's a sense that when you meet these people and you see them, you're like, that's a championship caliber dude. Yeah. And it happens. It just happens. They win. And I think I don't think that's a coincidence. Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence at all. So, and I think frankly, that's why the Bucks picked him. One of the main reasons is that leadership part.
Yeah. I think he came into Ohio State like that too, like him and like Marvin Harrison Jr., where they came in together. And I remember they just really, I would say that class, in my opinion, really shifted the Ohio State room, just from a work ethic standpoint, character standpoint as well. And to see just what he's doing with the Lord is beautiful, man. So I'm happy to just witness it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we wish him all the success, and hopefully we'll get him on the show sometime. We can talk about all this stuff and Man Up and Go. manupandgo.org. Jeff is where you go.
Yep.
And be part of the solution.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks so much for coming in. Really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
One more quick break, and we'll jump on with Big O, and then we'll head into the Big O show a little bit later on. Guys, thank you once again. Manupandgo.org is the website. All right, we'll be back to you. Hey, Tampa Bay, it's time to get your AC unit ready for summer. And here at Third Generation Plumbing and Mechanical, we recommend getting ahead of the game, keeping your family cool before the hot summer months with one of our maintenance agreements in the hopes of avoiding the dreaded emergency service call. Our maintenance agreements include, we'll test the electrical components, check and tighten high and low voltage wire connections. We'll check the refrigerant for manufacturer's performance levels, test thermostats, calibrate if needed, clean the evaporator coil and condenser coil, and clear and treat the drain line and drain pans. Just call us at 813-961-8024 for the special rates, and a human will actually answer. 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now.
Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. It's all kinds of crazy things happening around here today. Big O's here. What's up, partner? How are you?
I'm good. Got Brett Phillips playing a little golf next door.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
I just walked out and I'm like, I think somebody's using the simulator. And I'm like, oh, it's Brett Phillips.
So
and
real
Mike.
quick. So I hadn't seen Brett in a couple of years, and I'm real close with his dad, and I, in fact, I got him his initial agent who got him his contract to sign.
How about that?
Yeah, so Emil Bodestein was his agent back in the day, but I'm like going, how's the stroke, man? And then he's like, man, Big O, I didn't really play much when I was playing, and now I'm taking it up serious, and I got to get some lessons. So I came over here. So you know who's teaching? You know who's guru is?
Yeah, of course.
Mike Murphy.
Who better?
And the good
14-time Pro-Am winner at the RBC Heritage.
And the good thing about it is that his eyes were so happy and smiled because they're both lefties.
Yeah. So, so he's got the clubs too.
He's got the clubs. Perfect. And he can talk to a lefty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what a great kid.
Yeah.
Can't say enough about him.
Yeah. This is why this place is kind of so magical.
And our guys got a chance to the Petermans got a chance to feel it and live it live. I thought that was you can't take away getting over here and actually seeing what we have over here and what we're building.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and we're excited about it. And just the whole event the other night and watching the All-Star game and guys being able to tap into your baseball knowledge.
It was fun. So many questions, bro. I mean, everybody and very smart, well put together questions about different things in my career. And then obviously Jason Michaels, one of my homies, popped in. He's going to be on the show next week with us. And just as I told them when they walked in, ask me anything, and we had some cool stories.
A couple of people chiming in about our last group here. Rick says only God could love Ohio State. But he also said faith, family, football. God doesn't need us. He wants us. Amen. Only God.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good. It's good stuff. Ashley's like, I love these guys.
Well,
we're going to get involved with them. When he told me about their I don't want to call it a charity, but their nonprofit.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is something that is desperately.
Well, you
needed.
put it great. You said these are the type of things that are solutions. They're not. They're not causing any problems. They're only causing solutions.
Yeah.
So it's a great deal to get involved with.
All right. So what are we talking about on the Big O Show?
Man, we're going to be diving into, first of all, back to school. It's the summer vacation for MLB is very short. It's not like your normal summer break. It's like you get a few days, you re-ante up, and you get back to the task at hand, which is just 2.5 months left of the season, and who's going to jockey enough to be make the playoffs, but maybe 1A is who wins divisions, because that gives you the better clout, who has the best record. So we'll talk about that situation also. By the way, it's the AL East little swing that the Rays are going to be taking. So the next 7 games,
I start in Boston, doubleheader.
Boston and Toronto. So and oh, by the way, again, a double. Oh, by the way, it's not the Boston Red Sox, it's the Boston Red Hots, because they've won 9 straight.
I did not know that.
They did not want the break. They wanted to play right through the break.
Hopefully it'll be like the lightning break for them.
Yeah, because they are red hot, and they're coming in looking to get back in the mix of this thing. And then you got a week in Toronto that looks at this 4-game series as like, hey, if we're going to make any hay, it's having the first place team in our dome. So it's a big series for the Rays to just kick off, the true second half here. And other than that, then we're going to talk trades, man. Listen, we're down to 3 weeks, and moves are going to be made. One smaller move already has been made. Our old homie, Lance McCullough Jr. from Tampa Jesuit got traded. And
he went to Milwaukee, right?
He went to Milwaukee. Oof. Houston's kind of unloading a little bit. Not, this isn't a big move. It was considerations and some cash and some things. He's not having a great year. He's just so off injured, man.
Yeah, he when he first came up, man, that freaking curveball.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Honestly, I think he just threw it too much. He was throwing the curveball 70% of the time, and it just cost him.
Well, that's the
and it's a hard, aggressive curveball. So
that's the kind of the Rays way.
Yeah,
and they kind of run their organization like we do. You get a pitcher and he has a plus pitch. Why not throw it more? Well, the reason is
he's been off hurt.
Yeah,
he's like 5 years removed from that great season when he was like 16-5. But then it's just been barely getting to 100 innings every year. So in this year's been very much the same. But Milwaukee figured like they'll take a stab at and see what we can get from that. And they got a lefty reliever that's also struggling. But the trade bells have rung.
Yep.
And
game on.
We're going to talk about that because we're going to break down a little bit of all 5 of our East people teams and what their needs are and what they're willing to give up and try to go get.
All right. Let me just wrap up some of the comments here. Nathan says, JP, what Buccaneer training camp practices will you be at? Every
All
one.
of them.
Every one of them. And we will,
You might be over there on days off.
Yeah.
Just
Saturdays
getting,
and Sunday.
Getting stuff.
It becomes football season hits in August. It's Bill Belichick. No days off.
No days off.
Until February. And that's the way we love it.
And we're hoping till February.
Yeah. So, we will adjust our schedule as we did last year. I think that worked out really well. The schedule just came out. I think practices will end at 10:15.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that we'll do our shows 12 to 2, get you the interviews. So instead of doing it a day after, doing a show at 10 o'clock.
Live, bro.
Yeah, we're going to
get it right away.
We'll be there and getting it right away. So we'll get that schedule out here pretty soon. John Hill reminds us the British Open is on. I totally forgot about that. DeChambeau's finished at 3 under par at 67, so he may not have the rough slam. Thank you, Johnny, for that. Rick says if Tim drives here, he'll stop in New Orleans and look for that homeless guy to spoon him up.
Probably not going to happen. I think he's probably dead by now. He was pretty old.
How long ago was this?
1999. It was the Millennium Mardi Gras.
He might still be hanging out.
Some of those guys are like cockroaches, man. You can't
He
kill
might
them.
be hanging out, dude.
Yeah.
Don't say cockroach.
Maybe he cleaned up his act and he's
sober.
On the city council now.
Yeah, that's right.
Might be on the city council in Tampa right now.
You're going to run by him and you're going to see him on the side of the road with a "Vote for Me" sign going like, hey, yeah.
Speaking of which, Kenny Hagan went on DAE yesterday. He'll be joining us here soon. But basically said that basically said what we said about a month ago when Alan Clendenin wrapped up the city council and said, or actually he was on this show when he came on this show and he said, we're talking about the city. And he said, listen, you either, find ways to go to figure it out or you go around him.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what does that mean? And listen, the original deal with the Rays in Ybor City wasn't involved.
No, it was. That's right.
So can we do it without the city? Absolutely. And Hagan's like, listen, if they don't want to participate, we'll figure it out. The returns are so great. If they don't want to invest, they get no returns. And if you have small-minded people on your city council, which clearly we have a few of them, so be it. And that's like I said, we're not losing a $10 billion deal
really
for $180 million.
Yeah,
which is what the city's portion is. We'll figure that out. Yeah. So if the city doesn't want to play, it's all happening in their city limits, and then then we can limit what they get out of it. Just the dumbest lack of leadership bullshit I've ever seen, but
that's great news though.
Good. Which the bottom line is we'll get it done. Imagine getting this thing done in the city limits and have a city council that doesn't want to participate.
Right. And having it be a success.
And it's not all of them, by the way. There are 3 that clearly know what they're doing.
And having it be a success. And then
I think a couple of vacillating in Carlson and Maniscalco. And I still think one of those guys is going to come through. Hertak and Miranda are just completely lost causes, totally self-absorbed.
And Terrians.
Yeah.
Listen, the crazy thing would be that if that does happen, which I hope it really doesn't, because we need to keep it a familial thing and everybody.
I would love for this city. Yes.
But if it does, the funny thing is that 5 years from now, when it's rocking, they're going to be sitting like, look at our great city. And no, you had nothing to do with it. So just be quiet. Sit at your council seat over there if you still have it.
Yeah.
If you still have it.
Oh, no, Hertak's going to be mayor.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I don't think that's happening.
Maybe Hamon will run into Charlie Miranda on the side of the road somewhere.
Yeah. Wostall, enjoy your 2-year term because you're never going to be back on the council again. Current MLB power ranking says Mike H. Dodgers, Brew Crew,
Rays.
There, you got it. Braves, 4, Phillies, 5.
Yep.
Yankees, 6.
Yep.
Cubs, 7. Marlins, 8.
Yeah. Marlins have been,
top 10.
They have the best record in baseball since June 1st. The best record in baseball since June 1st.
That's crazy.
Oh, by the way, one other little caveat. The Detroit Tigers went 22-13 in June. They were the best team in the AL in June. So, and what do you do with that? you trade Tarek Skubal because you have to. But they're 3.5 games out because of the wackiness of the AL. You only have 5 teams that are over 500. You know,
there's a lot to be done in this second half.
There's a lot
to be done.
There's a lot of hate. So I'm telling you, you have, you know,
really interesting.
The West is wild. You know, everybody's like 500. Anybody could get hot. You got Chicago surprising everybody, but you got Detroit right there trying to win the division. You know, and so at 3.5. But do you trade Terry? Yes. Why? Because you have to be realistic and go, we're not winning the World Series. You got to step back as an organization and go, this is great.
Yeah, and you don't want him gone for nothing.
And you don't want him gone for nothing. That's the catch with Detroit. You know, now if Detroit was 10 games up,
it's like the Angels. You think that they think back and think, you know, we probably should have traded Ohtani for a freaking King's ransom.
Yeah,
you got nothing.
Yeah, and they just hold on to him. So you can't do that.
Right.
So he's going somewhere. And we'll talk about, you know, where he may land, but he's definitely got to go.
All right, last one. This from Mike H. He said, that was a great segment. It gives renewed enthusiasm that there are folks working hard to improve the quality of people's lives.
Amen.
Listen, man, we say this all the time. Don't take the bait. The media is out there to do nothing but agenda report and divide you, the mainstream media. There are so many people doing great things. The majority of your life, if you concentrate on it, what's around you and the people that are around you is extremely positive, and the people are wonderful.
Yeah.
There are a lot of dipshits doing crazy shit. I get it. But if you really count your blessings and look around and be part of the solution and not the problem, and stop listening to all the stupid stuff on the news that's trying to divide us and telling you to hate other people just because of their color of skin, don't take the bait. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Be true to who you are and what you're doing, and bring joy and light to the world. You don't have to participate in all that bullshit. So, and these guys, that's exactly what these two men are doing.
Yeah.
And that man,
just bring positivity and goodness to, you know, forward. There's a lot of different ways to do that. You know, if it's about your Christianity or your belief or other religious, but as long as it's goodness, man. I mean, I've leaned more, you know, more into like more of a Buddhist thinking.
Well, you're a man of the world.
Yeah. So I've been,
you have a great
Japan
perspective.
And Shinto shrines and the Zenness. That's one of the reasons I do love Japan, because the general theme of redemption for them is oneness and goodness.
Yeah.
And let's do that. And let's publicize that. Doesn't have to be, but you know what sells? Controversy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Timmy, thanks for hanging in. I know we went long today, but appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you for all the Petermans out there. Big thanks to Jeff Ford and Kam Babb that came in. manupandgo.org is their website. And the great Dave Mishkin was fantastic today. That was great. So go back and check that out as well. Big O Show coming up here in about 15, 20 minutes. We'll see you then.